Okay. All right. Good to go. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us this morning and this afternoon and taking some time out of your day. We'll be going over some of the new license options for NCache. We just released version 4.8 about 2 weeks ago, and there's some changes to our traditional licensing. So we thought we'd take some time to cover that. My name's Adam. I'm one of the regional directors of service delivery. So essentially, in layman's terms, that means I'm the liaison between the customers evaluating or using NCache and our internal NCache engineering team. With me is my associate, Ron. Ron is our lead solutions architect. He has over a decade of experience building enterprise applications. He also is very, very hands-on with our customers as far as setting up NCache and configuring, technical conversations, demos such as this. And due to his hands-on experiences with our customer, he's also pivotal in our road mapping for where we take our product. So you're in good hands today. During the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to stop us. That's what we're here for. You'll see in your webinar pane, there's a questions tab. We'll be alerted when you have any questions, and we'll make sure we get everything answered. And with that said, I'm going to pass it back over to Ron. Ron?
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Thank you very much for the intro. Hi, everybody. My name is Ron Hussain. I'm one of the technical experts at Alachisoft. So we'll get started with this presentation. The topic is license options for NCache. So towards the end of this webinar, you would learn about NCache evaluation process, how to get started with NCache, how to download it, install it, and then how to go about the trial license keys, their activations, and then make it a perpetual license key, how to activate it through different options. So that's what we have in agenda today. I'll quickly get started with NCache overview, some details about NCache distributed caching technology, what exactly is our distributed cache, and what NCache offers on top of it. So you must be familiar with the concept of distributed caching. It's a cluster of multiple cache servers which are joined together into a logical capacity. So these don't have to be high-end servers. These could be regular web server, app server configuration boxes, inexpensive. And nice thing about this setup is that you have a team of servers. It's not just one server. You can have multiple servers which can be joined together so that you pool their memory for storage and their CPU and networking power for computational and for data transmission. So it's a cluster of caching servers which are joined together into a logical capacity, and that's what presents the the storage or for the source, which is extremely fast because it's in memory, and it's extremely scalable because you can add more servers. It synchronizes all cache updates across all servers, so that's the characteristic of a distributed caching system. That makes it very consistent. So regardless of how many servers you have, where data exists, where clients are connected, any update on any server from any client is visible to all the caching servers within the cluster. So it's not just one server which is being updated, it's synchronized. So there are no race conditions, no stale data or inconsistency of data as far as updates are concerned. So that's part of the protocol. And then it's linearly scalable. It allows you to add more and more servers on the fly. That's another benefit, that you can add capacity by adding more servers. More servers add up to the scalability factor where you can scale out linearly. And then data replication, high availability, connection failover support, and feature-rich object caching and session caching support is something that's also part of it. We have architectural webinars. We cover all these topics in quite great details. Today's focus is more on the licensing side, NCache deployment and licensing options. So I'll quickly talk about deployment, and then we'll jump right towards our licensing options. Typical NCache deployment, it can be hosted on-prem, it could be in cloud as well, it could be physical boxes, it could be VMs. we generally recommend having dedicated servers, a tier for caching. So you can start up with two or more servers, and it sits between your application and the database. And since it already resolved your database related bottlenecks, database is slow, it's not that scalable. With a scalable tier deployed between your application and the database, it would introduce the scalability, performance, and high availability characteristics within your application. So coming back to the deployment, you have two options here. Once you've chosen whether you would like to go on-prem or have physical boxes or VMs, or you would like to choose a hosting provider, or go with a cloud model where you have VMs, or your microservices or app services in that case. You have two options once you've decided that. One is that you have dedicated sets of servers, which are forming a cache cluster. This is a caching tier, and all your application tiers, web apps, .NET and Java, hosting their web sessions, or view state, or output caching, or object caching. It could be web services, .NET and Java, or any other backend server application. They can all connect to it. In this case, you have a server installation and a client installation, but each installation is on its respective tier. That's the recommended approach. Preferred platform is 64-bit. All Windows environments are supported, 2008, 2012, 2016. Only prereq for NCache is .NET Forward. Option number two within the typical deployment for smaller configurations, I would say, is to use NCache on the same boxes where your applications are also running. So if you have, say, 3 or 4 web servers, or let's take a smaller example, even smaller than that. If you have 2 web servers, and in that case, you can install NCache on the same machines where your applications are also running. So 2 boxes can also act as your application boxes as well as for NCache caching. It's still a distributed cache, but it's just that NCache is sharing resources between itself and the application that you have running. Again, coming back to this, recommended approach is to have a dedicated tier, and we recommend having 2 to 3 caching servers to start off, and then you can add more servers on the fly. So that covers our NCache deployment. I'll hand it over to Adam for this particular slide.
All right, thank you, Ron. So we have 4 different versions or flavors of NCache. The first is our open source, that is still version 4.6. It's completely free for you to download and use as you choose. There's no support, but again, it's no cost. New for 4.8 is our community edition. So community edition is a little bit more feature rich than open source. It's still free. However, it has some enhanced tools such as the management GUI, so that you're able to manage all of your caches right from your desktop. Now, the great thing about community is it's free unless you choose to use our paid support option. So if you're running community in production and you want some, that the reliability of support from our internal engineering team, that's also an option. So that's new for 4.8. So we're pretty excited about that. We have our enterprise edition, which has been the bread and butter for many years, 13 years now. There's some enhanced features that we've added to 4.8, of course. The way that works is it's a free installation key for 30 days for you to be able to, if you're new to caching or just want to see what the product's all about, you can test it out. And then after that, you would extend to a full trial. That's the full capability and a license that you can have for months to be able to make sure that the NCache is going to, meet your use case. And then finally, you can activate for the lifetime with a perpetual license. So that's our enterprise. And then our fourth is NCache in the cloud. We're in AWS and Azure. So if you're migrating your applications to the cloud, we'll also be able to support you in that environment as well. All right. So downloading NCache is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. You go to our website. I think Ron's going to walk us through. There we go. Right there on the download tab, go to NCache. You will see all 4 versions from enterprise, community, cloud, and open source. And then essentially you pick the desired product that you would like to use. And then I think if Ron showed, it's going to require you to put in your credentials. We're going to need obviously name and email address, because once you select the product that you would look to install, we will email you your license key. So once you have your license key, you're free to implement. So There we go. Ron's showing that right now. Pretty straightforward, just a template. Fill that out. You'll get the license key email, and then you're ready to go.
Very good.
So
All
I
right.
will, if Ron wants to add anything, feel free. And if not, I'll pass it back over to him. He's going to go through some of the comparison between the different editions.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about the download process, and then I'll show you how to get started with the eval. As soon as you have the evaluation key emailed to you. But
Ron,
before
we
that,
can't hear you. I can't hear you.
thank you, Adam. I was on mute, so thank you for letting me know. All right. So basically, once you've downloaded the product, you're emailed evaluation key, and that's something that you can get started with. That's good to go for installation. But the most important factor here is that you need to choose one of the editions of NCache. Whether you want to go with Enterprise, that's a fully working, fully featured product. Then we have Community, and then Open Source, and then we have flavors of all these products in Microsoft Azure as well as in AWS. So edition comparison, that's something that I'll cover quickly next. So it's published on our website as well. Uh, so open source and community editions, these are almost similar as far as features are concerned, with an exception of community is backed up with our GUI tools. PowerShell and command line tools are already available in community, so that's something. And then on top of it comes with our GUI based management tools. And on top of it, you get the official support if you go that route where you actually purchase the official support from LachiSoft. But as far as enterprise is concerned, everything is supported in enterprise. That's our main, commercial product, which is fully featured. So first of all, caching topologies. You can see, the difference between open source, community, and enterprise. Then the client side, we have recently implemented .NET Core remote, .NET Core clients, so you can run it on Windows as well as on Linux. Then big data, so that is only supported. MapReduce, aggregator, entity processor. And on the session side, we do support ASP.NET Core sessions, web sessions, view state in all versions, but the difference between these features is the feature set within these providers. So session, advanced, and basic, that's where we have categorized. So I can share more details around this, what is available in basic and what is advanced, but that's something that I can email. If people are interested in it, I can share more details on this. And then there are some third-party integrations, and then object caching wise, there are a few features which are only in enterprise, and some are available in open source and community. And then there are features which are basic support is supported in community, but advanced support is only in enterprise. So this is a pretty detailed feature by feature comparison between these editions. What is available in what edition of NCache, and what should be the right choice. I would personally recommend that you get started with enterprise, because that's a fully featured product. And down the line, if you think that your requirements are fulfilled with community, with support option, and then open source, which is used as is model, so you can make that decision at that point. All right, so let's get started. So as Adam has mentioned, first of all, you need to go through the download process. If you're already a registered user, you can use right here, and then you can simply choose continue, and then it would take you to the download link. And otherwise, you can sign up. You need to provide these details: your email, first and last name, some qualifying questions, company, and then how did you find us. And in that case, once you sign up, you can use that email and then take it from there. And it takes you to our license agreement, which you can accept after reading, of course. And then it presents you with the download link. So you just need to hit download, and that would just download the trial for enterprise and also for community. Open source has an installation key, which does not expire. And once you hit the download now, using your email information that you initially used to sign up, will send you an email with the installation key. So step number 2, of course, is to install NCache, and for that you you can again choose two options. One option is that you have server machines, and our installer presents with installation options to be installed as a caching server, to be installed as a remote client from where you have run your applications. Server is a server capable. Server comes with server capabilities, allows you to create a cluster, a distributed cache, and you can also run local applications on it. Client installation is just for the client applications connecting to NCache, right? So that's another option that you can choose. And then there's a developer installation where you can install the developer portion of NCache for local development. It's limited in such a way that it does not allow you to connect to remote caches. If you have a local cache and you want to run applications and develop applications using the same box, developer is a right option for that. So installation key is emailed to you. Trial period starts on installation, and then you run the verify license. So I would assume that we already know the installation steps, since there are a few webinars which are already covered. And if you go to our support page, or there are a few. Let's actually go to the documentation page. So we have our installation guides, right? We have PDF and HTML versions of these as well. So we have installation guide for .NET, and then we have installation guide for Java side, Linux, and other options as well. So this is all what you need in order to get started with it. Command line installation is available, GUI based installation is available, and then we'll just pick it up from there. Okay, assuming that you've already installed NCache, I'll talk about different options, and that's what the main topic is all about. So I'll get started with NCache Community Edition. Alright, so Community Edition is a free trial, and it's a free product. There are two stages of how you actually make Community Edition perpetual. So first of all, you sign up on our website, download Community Edition, a fully working, no performance limitations. A trial key is sent to you in an email, and that's what you use at installation and install NCache on any machine. Within 60 days, right? So you could actually come back, and then you can request a perpetual key for that matter. It's a key that you can use to make it perpetual, and that's absolutely free as well. And Adam can share more details on this. Adam, would you like to clarify on this?
Yeah, certainly. So once you download Community, you're going to get a 60-day license. It's automatically generated. It's more of a trial license key. It's fully functioning. There's no performance limitations, so you'll be able to get your hands on the product and really make sure that it's what you're looking for. During that period, ask questions. Ron and his team of architects are available for technical sessions or product demonstrations. But it's really just a true evaluation period and a true evaluation license key. Now, after that 60-day period, once you decide, hey, this product is what we want to go with, and it's working well for us, after 60 days, you can request a permanent or perpetual license key. At that point, one of the account managers will work with you to get as many license keys as you need, depending on how many servers that you have in your environment. And then from there, you'll be set up for as long as you choose to use Community. If there's anything else you'd like to add, Ron?
I think that pretty much sums it up. So let's move on to Enterprise Edition.
Okay, so Enterprise is similar, except for the first initial evaluation period. Same principle, same ideology. We just want you to have some time to really evaluate the product and make sure that that's the product that's going to work in your use case, and also make sure all your questions get answered during that period. However, it is a 30-day evaluation period, and there are some performance limitations. It's still all the features are included. There's just some small things like the requests per second and whatnot. So that is also just a temporary license key is automatically generated once you download the product. So within 30 days, I think we thought it was, you could get a good feeling for if you want to move forward with a full-blown evaluation. Now, after the 30-day period, At that point, you can request a true trial license. Now, at that point, you can work with one of our account managers. They'll go through, find out how many licenses you need based on your environment and how many servers, and we'll give you that trial license, which is there's no limitations. It's fully functioning. It is our enterprise version, so you'll be able to experience, all the bells and whistles, and then that will last for 60 days. Now, it can be extended for 60 days if you have a larger environment or a lot of folks on the team that are involved in the decision-making process. We can extend that. However, you'll have a full 60 days. And during that 60 days, it's important to note that you'll have our support team at your disposal. So it's kind of like a day in the life of. We want you to truly experience what it would be like to be using NCache in your production environment. In the next step, if you choose, which is purchasing the NCache licenses. Now, the licenses are perpetual. Once you purchase them, you own them for life. As we upgrade and release, just like we released 4.8 2 weeks ago, as we release, you're free to upgrade as well during that perpetual or lifetime span. And also, the enterprise comes with full Alachisoft support. We have two different options: our standard support and then 24/7. But you'll have our entire engineering team at your disposal to make sure that we're able to help you troubleshoot. If there's ever any problems. So yeah, Ron, do you think anything else you can think to add that I may have missed?
I think we're good to go. What I'll do is I'll explain the activation processes, how to extend the trial, and we'll use enterprise as an example product for this. So first of all, let me take you to our demo environment, and this is an environment where I've already set up our a couple of servers with cache server installation, and my personal machine right here is a client machine for that matter. So on demo one, what I've done is I've downloaded and installed the enterprise trial, which is a 30-day trial. It just got installed today, so if you run this verify license tool, which comes installed as part of command lines as well as for PowerShell, you can know that this is the information that I use to install. It's a 4.8 version. It's a cache server, right? And it is running a 30-day trial, and it can be activated with 60-day trial license key to remove performance limitations. It does come with some performance limitations, and we give you this message. There is a pop-up message each time you try to create a cache or perform any task on it. For example, let's say I just create a cache using this box right here, and I'll just keep everything default. There you go. So it gives you your cache servers need to be activated with free 60-day trial license. So how to get a free 60-day trial license? All you need to do is get in touch with one of our sales account manager, and by the time you've downloaded NCache, there is an automated email that is sent to you with the installation key, which gives you the 30-day trial. And at that time, one of our account managers would also get in touch with you, or you can send us an email directly at sales@alachisoft.com. So somebody would quickly get back to you with a fully working 60-day trial license key, and that is something that you can get through just sending an email yourself, or you can request your account manager by directly calling them. Alright, so once you've done that, how to activate this trial. So I'm just going to close everything down. So there is a tool which comes installed with NCache. It's called NCache Activation tool. We have the GUI base activation tool, and then we also have the command line activation tool. So you can script this. You can also use interactive GUI based tool as well. One thing that you need to make sure is that this tool performs some system level registry level changes. So it is very important that you run it through run as administrator option, right? So always use the run as administrator option so that it runs with full admin privileges, and it allows you to update any registries which is needed for trial extension as well as for license activation. Alright, so I'll just choose the GUI based method, and I would assume that and by the way, you can also use the extension method to be online, or it could be offline as well. So let's talk about online method. all you need to do is use the information here, first name, last name, which is pre-filled using the installation information, and then you can add some more information if needed. So based on this, these are some the ones which are bold. These are recommended. These are needed as must. You need to fill these in, and then you need to use a trial. Let me just find one. You need to use a trial license key, which is given to you free of charge. So you just copy that. I have a dummy key right here for this. It is going to be valid for the scope of this particular webinar. So I'll just use this. This is something that you can get from your account manager, and choose next. If you have internet access, you just need to hit activate now. Right? So it would just activate your trial. So your trial license of NCache has been activated. The trial will expire on this date. Right? And I'll just need to choose finish on this. Now if I come back to this tool again, verify license.exe, which is available in NCache bin tools, it's now a fully working trial without any performance limitations. So just to be on the safe side, you can restart NCache service. Right? If you have created a cache which was running, you need to make sure that you restart it as well, so that it picks up the fully working trial. And let's actually take care of that. And if I just open this test cache, and I can now start it, no warnings are given anymore, no performance limitations. Now it's a fully featured product, which it is in 30-day trial as well, but 30-day trial comes with performance limitations. So with this trial extension key, it would be a full-blown trial. It would not have any performance limitations, no capacity limitations. It's a fully working, full capacity, feature-rich enterprise trial, and then you can perform all kinds of load testing, performance testing, and any sort of regression or sanity testing as needed. So that covers our trial extension. Like I said, you can also use the offline method as well, and for that you can just go here, activate. I'm just going to use the same machine, and you can use the manual option, and that's an offline option as well. So assuming you'll generate activation code here, right? It's a two-step process for offline. So what you do is use the same trial key just to make sure, choose next, and then it would generate a activation context. Copy it. Instead of contacting our servers through internet directly from this machine, you would bring it to another box, right? And where you have internet access, and all you need to do is, let me just open a link, go to our customer portal. So you don't need to interact with us anymore. Once you've got the trial extension key, you're good to go, and all you need to do is open our customer portal link, right? And here it demands you to add the trial license key, or the purchase license key. The procedure remains the same, and you could see that we have a few boxes, demo 1 and demo 2, with trial extension. And what you need to do is come to activate NCache, and then fill in the information right here using the activation context from this machine where we don't have internet access, bring it to a machine where we do have internet access, and based on that generate the the activation code, and then bring it back and activate it. So this step is for verification. It's in NCache 4.8 enterprise. This is your license key. These are your information where you have internet access, and then these are some machine specific details, and you just need to hit activate, right? And then this becomes your this is an auth code which is generated in step 2, and you come back to the machine right here, go back and use step number 2 here, and you proceed with the activation. So behind the scenes it's the same process. In step 1, if you have internet access, you connect to NCache servers, licensing servers directly, and then you activate, and everything is done automatically. But if you don't have internet access, and which is the case mostly in production environments and in some staging environments as well, you can generate the context, bring it to our portal, activate using our portal, and then get a code which is right here, and bring it in step 2, and then choose finish, and that would actually put it it's just reactivating the same trial, so the message does not change, but this shows online and offline method for trial extension. I hope that was pretty clear, pretty straightforward. Please let me know if there are any questions. So step number two, once you're done with the initial trial, you might want to activate the product, and that is through a purchase license key, right? This trial is still a 60-day. It adds 60 days on top of your initial 30 days, right? So whenever you activate it, we'll just add 60 days on top of it. So it would give you a full-blown 60-day trial, and you can further extend it. That's something that you can discuss with your account manager, and based on that, you can further extend it. But once you're done with all the testing, POCs are done, load testing is done, and you're satisfied with the product, and you eventually plan on purchasing it, right? So you can again get in touch with our account manager, and based on the discussions, you can get hold of a license key which includes number of cache server licenses and client server licenses. So I have three boxes right here. I have demo 1, which is running a trial, and I have demo 2. Let me see the status of it. It's again running a trial, so it's a fully working trial. And then I have my box right here, and that's also running a trial. So I'll use these three boxes to activate NCache. Again, steps are exactly the same. I'll just show you the online method for it, since I've already covered the offline method, and steps do not change, from, because this step is for trial extension as well as for purchase license key. So all I need to do here is come here and choose next, and instead of using our trial extension license key, I'll use the perpetual license key, and again that key is shipped to you by your account manager, and I'll just chain that, right? Again, this is a license key which is going to be valid for the scope of this particular webinar. I just need to choose next, activate now, and we're all good to go. No, it will contact our licensing server, and the trial will expire on this. I think I did, yeah, purchase license key. Let me just check if the message is confusing. All right, so I think I need to use the license key instead of. Alright, so I think I used the trial one more time, so that's why. So I'll just activate, come here, choose online method, and keep everything same. Activate now. Alright, so for some reason it's giving me a problem. Let me try another box. I think I tried to activate it twice. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so let's use this box, online method. Alright, so let's choose next and choose activate now. Alright, so there is a problem with our licensing server, but since I've gone through the trial extension method, let's see if that's still working. So let's assume that this is how it behaves. Alright, so I think there is a problem with our licensing server at this point, but never mind, you can always get in touch with us, and we can let me actually use this license key. There you go, finally, right? So I think there was an issue with the license key, so never mind. And then you just need to choose the verify license, and now NCache is activated on this machine, so message has been changed. So let's use the same key, and this time use this box and activate it through offline method, or it's pretty straightforward. So you generate the activation process code here, right, using the license key which is right here, and then use this activation code, bring it to another box, for example on my machine, come to our portal, use activate NCache, provide the code here, verify the commands, generate the auth code for it, bring it back to the machine which is right here, and use it in step 2. So you generate a code, bring it to our portal, generate another code, bring it back, use the step 2, and then provide it to activate NCache, and we'll just use the same box. So for on this box we use the other approach, the offline approach, and it worked pretty well. Now, there could be a question of using the command line method of activation as well. And by the way, all the activations that you just have done, for example, give me a moment. You can also review these activations. Let me just use this key one more time. I need to copy it. All right, so all the activations that you performed for a given key, you can review all the records against it as well. For example, this is our license key, which is a purchase license key. You can see that it's a production license, and you can very well see all the server installations or client installations which are activated at this point. At this point, I've just activated demo 1 and demo 2, and there's another box which I used for activating and deactivating another box within an environment. I'll show you how to deactivate a license, and then you can see that these are 2 server boxes, so server count has been deducted. So 2 licenses are acquired because these were typical VMs and physical boxes in our environment. So each is using 2 licenses per, and that's a minimum rule. On my personal machine, I can use the command line option for it. So all you need to do is go to NCache tools, right? And then there's a command which you run. It is with an activate tool. It's pretty straightforward. You need to, let me just copy it from here. Alright, so all you need to do is, let me just expand on this. So if there's a requirement of scripting, you can use I'm sorry. Alright, so this is the command nactivate.exe. That's the name of the tool. So it takes the license key, it takes first name, last name, and email at the minimum, and then it would use the online method, and this tool is also equipped with offline method as well. But since the procedure remains same, and scripting is recommended to use the online method, otherwise you have to get involved manually and then bring the generated auth code, activation code, and bring it to our portal. So that defeats the purpose. For scripting, if you want to have automated approach on activation as well, this is the command that you need to run, and simply would just run the alright, actually I need to change directory to activate and then run the command, which is right here. Alright, so that's a message. I wanted to showcase this, that it needs admin privileges, so I need to make sure that I have this command prompt run through admin privileges, right? So I just need to change program files, then we have NCache, then we have bin, and then we have nactivate. That's where I want to go, and then I need to copy the command, which is right here, and it executed as well. So this machine is now activated as well. So I can again run a verify license to show you that I'm sorry, that it got activated without any issues, right? So all machines are activated. In this particular segment, we covered 3 scenarios: the online activation through GUI, the manual offline activation through GUI, and then online method through command lines. Now there is one more thing that I would like to cover, and then before we conclude the presentation, you can also use our license migration scenarios as well. For example, you need to set up a new environment, right? In that case, you need to move licenses from older environment to the new environment, right? So that could be a complete migration of licenses from one machine to another, and NCache supports that. And then it could be decommissioning of older machines within an environment, and then reapplying the licensing on the new machines, new allocated servers. And then it could be also be NCache version upgrades, where you need to you get a free license key for the new version if you have active support, and then you can exchange your old keys with the new license keys, again contacting our account managers. But the key step here is that you need to deactivate the old machines before decommissioning them, so that your license gets freed up. At this point, if I come back to our licensing portal, which you can access, you can see there are 3 machines which are activated, right? So 4 licenses are available as far as servers are concerned. So if I need to reclaim these licenses, I need to deactivate the license from this particular box, or from the machines I'm interested in, and then move those licenses to be able to use on other servers as well. So I'll just quickly show you how to go about it. The procedure for that is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is get in touch with our account managers. They would give you a deactivation code. So you share your license key requesting that you need a deactivation code, and then you specify how many servers you need to deactivate, whether these are going to be NCache version upgrade, decommissioning of machines, or it could be moving the licenses to another environment. So in all these cases, you need to share your license key with your account manager requesting the deactivation code. So let's quickly show you how to go about it. Again, the NCache activation tool needs to be launched through admin privileges, otherwise it will give you a warning. You can see a deactivate NCache license option. Choose next. It requests you a deactivation code that I've already mentioned that you need to get in touch with our account managers to get hold of. So let's quickly use it, and then choose next. Again, online and manual works in exactly the same manner. We'll use the other server and we'll use it through a manual option, and you use a deactivate now option, and it should actually deactivate. So it's going to contact our licensing server, and it has been successfully deactivated. All I need to do is check, and it brings you back to the trial. And then on our licensing portal, I should now see this particular entry change to a deactivated status, and it has freed the licenses as well. So this license is now available to be used on another machine. So quickly show you the so we have some more time available. So demo 1 has been deactivated, so let's use demo 2, and in this case I'll just use the offline method. So you use the manual, generate the deactivation code, bring it to a machine where you have internet access, generate a deactivation code using this information. It gives you all the information about the machine, and hit deactivate. Right, so it has already deactivated NCache. Right, so that is something that you need to do in order to deactivate NCache from this machine. Right, so one more thing before we conclude this, this can also be done through command lines. Right, so again, bringing back the command line option, all you need to do is go to NCache, and then there is a command that you run with the, and that's the command, and activate, run it with /d switch, provide a /k switch, which is a deactivation code, and hit enter. Through online method, it would automatically deactivate your NCache license if that's the requirement. You can check, from here you can again run the verify license, and it has brought back to the trial. So that's how simple it is to activate our 30-day trial into a 60-day full-blown trial, and from full-blown 60-day trial to a perpetual license key activation. And we've covered various options to do it through online, through GUI, through command line, online and offline methods, and then also through our deactivation process. You can migrate licenses from one machine to another. One more time I'll show you the customer portal, so that you have, so if I hit the find button one more time, so all the machines are now deactivated. So we have 8 licenses still available. There's one machine which is still activated, which I didn't touch, but all other 3 machines are successfully deactivated from our environment. Please let me know if there are any questions. This concludes our activation deactivation processes, and that essentially also concludes our presentation for today as well. Adam, you can pick it up from here.
Well, thank you, Haran. We appreciate that, and thank you everyone for your time. We appreciate you joining us. We encourage you to download and check out the product. after this webinar, you should be pros at learning installing NCache. During that period, don't be shy. Reach out to us for technical support, for any kind of sales support. That's what we're here for, and we want to make sure you have a great experience evaluating the tool. So engage us as much as you want. We work very closely with our customers. But just to, again, thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye-bye.